විෂන් කෙයා විශ්වාසනීය දැක්ම.
බලන හැමතැනකම දැන් විෂන් කෙයා එකක්.
Making a speech on the topic, Defeating Domestic and Foreign Conspiracies Against Sri Lanka, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that there was foreign interference to an extent never before experienced in this country at the 2015 presidential election. He says, quote, "The situation that prevailed in this country following the assumption of power by the Yahapalana government in 2015 was akin to having been taken over by a hostile foreign invading force. They systematically persecuted the nationalist political camp in this country. They jailed leading Buddhist monks on trumped-up charges in order to intimidate the Mahasangha, which has always been at the forefront in protecting the sovereignty of this country. They moved to demoralize and render ineffective our armed forces, which defeated terrorism and ensured the territorial integrity of the country. The intention behind all this was to create the impression in the minds of the local population and also to convey to the world the idea that these were not war heroes but thieves and murderers." The main pledges given by the Yahapalana conspirators to their foreign masters were contained in Resolution 30/1, which the Yahapalana government co-sponsored in the UN Human Rights Council in October 2015. Even though the Yahapalana government was not able to implement these pledges in the manner originally intended, they have introduced new laws to implement them by other means. In August 2016, the Office of Missing Persons Act was rammed through Parliament without leaving room for any debate. All state bodies, including the intelligence agencies and the armed forces, are legally bound to cooperate with the OMP, even in contravention of the provisions of the State Secrets Act. In August 2018, the Yahapalana government passed an amendment to the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Act, which will enable a foreign country or the International Criminal Court to locate suspects or witnesses in Sri Lanka or to obtain evidence they need from Sri Lanka. The UN Human Rights Commissioner has already requested Western countries to institute legal action in their respective countries against members of the Sri Lankan armed forces suspected of war crimes under the concept of universal jurisdiction. My request to the people of Sri Lanka is to always have the broader picture in mind when it comes to politics. Given the threats we are up against, we will be destroyed if we fail to distinguish between what is politically important and politically unimportant. The biggest problem that we had to face after President Gotabaya Rajapaksa came into power was the COVID-19 pandemic. What is politically important is whether that major issue was handled competently. I wish to state that we are right on top in the world in controlling COVID-19. We saw the manner in which the Yahapalana cabal made a hue and cry about a comment made by Karunamman to the effect that he had been responsible for the deaths of thousands of soldiers in attacks on army camps when he was in the LTTE. Those now in the Yahapalana camp gave lorry loads of weapons and gunny bags full of cash to the LTTE in 1989 in a foolish attempt to win them over. The years afterwards, the LTT attacked us with our own weapons. In 2002, the Yahapalana camp virtually ceded the northern and eastern provinces to Prabhakaran through the ceasefire agreement. The Yahapalana government drafted the new constitution to divide the country. Then they incorporated the conceptual framework of that constitution in their 2019 presidential election manifesto as well. From the time Karunamman was murdering people and after he had given up doing so and right up to the present day, what has been right at the top of the Yahapalana agenda has been the division of this country. Karuna may have given up murdering people, but the Yahapalana cabal has not given up trying to divide the country. That is what we have to realize here." Unquote.
Lever Ayush Karabu Neti Danta Lepaya Shaktimat Datti Palakata